Everybody, we're going to get started in a second, so anybody who's up there, get your food, please take a seat. Welcome everyone to the final press conference for Premier Boxing Champions on ESPN on this coming Saturday night, August 1st. We have a terrific show. There's a great television doubleheader. The opening bout, one of the most exciting young champions in boxing, middleweight champion of the world, Danny Jacobs, is taking, I think, his biggest challenge to date. And the winner of the first season of The Contender, a guy that a lot of people know, coming from the West Coast for this opportunity, Sergio Mora. In the main event, a two-time world champion, two weight divisions, Brooklyn's own Malignaggi will be taking on undefeated Danny Garcia, a young man that's made a lot of noise in boxing over recent years and always finds a way to win. And it says something about Garcia that he's giving Paulie the opportunity in Paulie's backyard. And I think that's a sign of a champion who takes on any kind of challenge. We're once again at the Barclays Center. I think it's the greatest venue to watch boxing. It's the greatest venue to watch music. It's now my favorite venue in my hometown, Brooklyn, New York. And I want to bring up the CEO of the Nets of the Barclays Center, my good friend, Brett Yormark.
Thank you, everyone. Just a couple of things. It's our 14th big night of boxing in Brooklyn. Really excited about it. It's a business that we're committed to and one that we want to grow. It's our third PBC event, and over the course of the next week or so, I think you're going to hear a little bit more about our boxing schedule for this fall and winter. Our goal is to try to go monthly with big events, and I can speak a little bit more to that in the next week or so. For Paulie and Danny, obviously being from Brooklyn, it's a big night to have them back at the Barclays Center, and for each of them, it's their fourth night fighting at the Barclays Center. So we welcome both of you back, and obviously you both represent Brooklyn so well. I also want to welcome Sergio Mora to the Barclays Center for the first time. Excited to have you in Brooklyn. For Danny Garcia, this is his fifth time at Barclays Center. And as we've told Danny before, this is his second home, and we're happy to have you back. So thank you. I certainly want to thank Lou DiBella. It's been a real pleasure working with him over the last couple of fights, and you can expect to see Lou and myself do a lot more moving forward. Obviously, we're excited to be on ESPN. They provide an incredible platform, not only for the Barclays Center and these great fighters, but also for the sport. And the promotion that we're getting this week and leading into the fight is unprecedented. And then lastly, there are tickets for sale. We expect a great crowd on Saturday night, and we look forward to seeing each and every one of you there. Thank you.
Heather, there's a seat up here for you. Which segues me into the fact that there's a terrific undercard before we go on television on ESPN. And the ESPN telecast is 9 Eastern Time, 6 Pacific Time. So it'll be live across the country. And the tickets at the Barclays Center are priced from ringsides at $250 down to $45 seats. So the tickets are affordable, and there are still good tickets available. We're going to open the doors and immediately start with boxing, and there's going to be great fights. I want to introduce some of the fighters that are on the off-TV undercard, just so you guys wave when I say a couple of words about you. At the end of this dais, just walked in, the lovely Heather the Heat Hardy, the First Lady of DiBella Entertainment. And this will be, Heather, your third fight or fourth fight at the Barclays? This will be Heather's fourth fight at the Barclays Center. She's also from Brooklyn, New York. And speaking of Brooklyn, New York, the First Lady of boxing, a good friend of mine, is in the room. I just saw her walk in. The lovely Rosie Perez, who's going to be co-hosting for ESPN this Saturday night. And I'm thrilled about that because not only is she a great person, but like this woman knows her boxing, and I'm really happy to see that she's been working on this event. Good to see you, Rosie. Adam Kaunacki. Polish-American heavyweight with a very big following and still undefeated, looking to make some big noise in the division. Next to him is a not so young man that I promote, but a guy that got his start late in boxing. Really an inspirational story in boxing. He uses boxing to draw attention to the cause of autism and bring awareness to autism. His daughter is living with autism. His wife's been battling courageously against cancer and winning that battle, thank God, and we hope to God that she continues to win that battle. This is a guy who's world ranked at 122 pounds, but I really want to see this guy get an opportunity at a world title because his life has been a real battle, and it's a battle that he takes on with courage and a smile every day. Rafi Vasquez. To my right, a young man looking to make noise in the welterweight division. He's a terrific prospect, undefeated from the island of Puerto Rico, trains in Florida. A terrific young prospect, Richard Colon. And you know I don't like these things to be too long, so we're going to get right to the action now. First, I want to bring up to the mic a man that's been waiting a long time to challenge again for a world middleweight championship. And he's on a streak of wins, good wins, knockout wins, which are sort of unusual for him in his career because he's always been known as a boxer. He's been in there in the past with some of the best fighters in the world, including guys like Vernon Forrest and Shane Mosley. He came to real prominence when he won the first season of The Contender. So I'd like to bring up Sergio the Latin Snake Mora.
Thanks, Lou. 901 odds. Those are the odds that Lou DeBella is going to have another fighter named Sergio as a middleweight champion. So he's a guy with a good eye for talent, especially middleweight talent. I'm excited to be fighting here in Barclays Center. I've already fought at the Staples Center in Caesars Palace, so I'm excited to complete my trifecta as a fighter. Brooklyn is a beautiful city, beautiful fans, great fans, and I'm excited to be headlining this with Paulie Malignaggi and a popular young champion and his father, the Garcias. These guys are exciting TV, and I think I actually predict that the PBC is going to have some great ratings for this fight because of what I just mentioned. And the Contender Season 2 was on ESPN, so I think that's actually going to help out with everything as well. You know, I seem to hit a plateau of popularity, and then I seem to disappear. I haven't been consistent, and that's because I had a lot of success early in my career. Then with success comes downfalls of success. But I'm a grown man now. I'm a former world champion, and I have a great opportunity to become a 2-division world champion, like my man Paulie Malignaggi here, and that's something that a lot of fighters don't get to say. I'm privileged. I'm honored. This is my 3rd time at a middleweight opportunity chance, but this is the first time that the opponent actually shows up. So I want to thank Danny Jacobs for actually showing up too. So I'm excited about this opportunity. I'm ready to go. I want to thank the main person that we all should be thanking for this PBC movement, Mr. Al Heyman, for opening the door for me. And ready to go, baby. We're ready to go. This is it.
They call this guy the Miracle Man. Enough's been said, frankly, about his victory over cancer, and there's not enough to say about the quality of person he is. One of the best guys in boxing, great young champion, Danny Jacobs.
Good afternoon, everyone. I see a lot of familiar faces in the room, faces that I've seen since the amateur days, and just want to thank everybody for always supporting me and supporting my career. And this is another great opportunity for me to display my skills. I've been on a really nice, hot winning streak. 7 knockouts since I've been back. 7? Good? 7? Okay. 7 knockouts. Yeah, round of applause. I feel confident about this fight. Sergio Mora is one of those guys that it's like a Rubik's Cube. You got to figure him out, figure out the puzzle, and he's a slickster, he's crafty, he's a veteran, former champion. Utmost respect for his skills, but I'm 100% confident in my ability to go out there and put on a good show. And I hear that just recently, his game plan was to come in there and actually try to knock me out. He wants me to relive those memories I had with my only loss. So if that's the case, then it's going to be a really exciting fight, because that means he's going to have to sit down and plant his feet and actually not move and actually come forward to fight. So I'm looking forward to that, because I'm going to come forward. And if two guys coming forward and no guys is on their bike, then it's going to be an exciting fight. But like I said before, I'm glad to be back at Barclays Center. I'm glad to be back to give these Brooklyn fans a good fight. And I'll see you guys on Fight Night. Thank you.
Danny has to run out soon to another promotional opportunity, so when he leaves the stage, just want you to know he's not being rude. We got him going someplace else. Before we get to the fighters in the main event, Danny Garcia's father's never had a loss for words. This is a man that has done a great job training his son, and it's a guy that's really engaging to listen to, and I always get a kick out of it. I'd like to bring up a great trainer to say a couple of words, Angel Garcia.
Well, first of all, we want to thank God, because what I got, none of it would be happening right now. Excuse my voice. That's from that cancer, you know what I mean? Radiation took a toll on me. But I'm here 7 years later, thank God. I want to say is Danny had a great camp. We had an awesome camp. Danny's going to 47. He's making a lot of noise. We're not going to use people, taking Malignaggi lightly. We not. I'm giving Malignaggi all respect in the world as a fighter. But at the end of the day, we come to win. We don't come to lose. I know Malignaggi's team thinking the same way, but it's not about Malignaggi. It's about Danny to me. And on Saturday the 1st, the people can say whatever they want to say, but we coming to make noise at 47. We're not just going to worry about Malignaggi. We're going to worry about anybody after that wants it. Okay? Because we're not running for nobody. We're going to make noise, and Danny will be the champ. I promise you that Danny will be the champion at 147. He will be the champion. I'm not talking words just to backwash myself. No, I'm talking visions that I've seen. Another thing is this. People want to talk, this, that, put cherries on Danny's page. But we know what's happening with the guy with the cherry right now. You know Tyrone from Philly? You ever heard of Tyrone? Well, he over the guy's house right now. He over the cherry boy's house. Right now, well, he's somewhere in this crowd right here, probably. So be careful, buddy. That shit dangerous. Hey, listen, you can talk all you want, Cherry, whatever you want to say, but I seen worse on TV. I seen worse. Why? Because they're American fighters / Latinos / Italianos. That's why they get this image. There's going to be a great fight on the first. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a great fight. And then after that, like Broner says, anybody can't get it. But I'm not going to say Mexican because I'm going to sound racist. so I'm going to say Africans can get it too. God bless you. I love you.
I'm going to find out the background to that when I get off the stage, because I guess I don't follow the internet enough to know what's going on. So you're going to tell me about that when we get off the stage. One more time, this is PBC on ESPN, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Tickets at the Barclays Center box office, and Ticketmaster locations, Ticketmaster.com. You're $250 for VIP ringside seats, down to $45 seats. The next guy I know, this young man, because he's still a young man, but I know him for a long, long time, since he was a teenager, living on his grandmother's couch. Went out and won the Nationals. He shocked the world when he did that, surprised people, and that got him enough of a little bonus from me to get him off his grandmother's couch. And turned pro on one of my shows a little more than 14 years ago. So we go back a long way. And one thing I know about Paul Malignaggi is that everything he has in himself, he's going to bring into that ring, and he's going to give 110% on Saturday night. And I know that it was pretty funny, the chicken running around the gym and stuff. I got a kick out of it. And he is known for his movement and stuff. But the one thing I can tell you, and everybody knows this, is that one thing that this guy has in abundance is balls, and there's no chicken in Paulie Malignaggi. The two-time world champion, Paulie Malignaggi.
Good afternoon, everybody. I was up here listening to Angel, and I'm like, I usually I'm waiting to see the jokes that he's got, and then I'm like, I'm fighting these guys. I can't really anticipate the jokes in the same way I usually anticipate them. But it's all love. To rephrase what Angel says about, it's about, for them it's about Danny, for me it's about me, and I can't enhance that any more than the way he said it. For me, this is a big opportunity from a professional standpoint, from a personal standpoint. My boxing career started 14 years ago in Brooklyn, New York, and a lot of people think it's going to end Saturday night in Brooklyn, New York, but at this point in my career, of course, every fight could be the last one, and that's what everybody goes into it thinking, and everybody always asks me those questions, is this the last one? Is this the last one? Is this the last one? And so it's been a bit of an emotional camp, because, I find myself thrust back into the limelight of a mega fight, of a major fight, when it was least expected, when I at least thought it would come my way. And suddenly those question marks start coming up again, and you hear about the doubts, and you hear about opinions, and okay, this is Paulie's gonna end right here. And for that reason, it's been emotional. I think about it every day, and I work hard in the gym every day, and I've quietly but surely I've had one of my best training camps, and so there's no excuses here. Saturday night, what Saturday night brings is going to be what Saturday night has the best of Paulie Malignaggi. The Garcia team says they have had a great camp as well. So if that's the case, I look forward to testing myself against the best possible Danny Garcia, because I've always been somebody that loves and relishes those kind of challenges, big fight, big names, big opportunities. Sometimes I lay in bed as a fan and I'm like, man, could this guy beat this guy? Could this guy beat that guy? And then, I start to try to put myself in the conversation and step outside my body and think of it from a fan perspective as well. Could Paulie Malignaggi beat Danny Garcia? His best versus his best. Well, now we got a chance to find out on Saturday night. And Paulie Malignaggi beat Danny Garcia. There's a lot of opinions. There's a lot of speculations. Everybody's going to have their say. But like I said, I've had my own very good camp. Quietly but surely, I'm very confident about Saturday night. I'm bringing my best. And you'll see that Saturday night.
The young man to my right has been a dominant force in the 140-pound division in recent years. He's won some fights by stunning knockout, won other fights by decision, been in a couple of ones that were a little bit controversial, but always finds a way to win. And that's what he's planning on doing on Saturday night. So from the fighting city of Philadelphia, Danny Garcia.
Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I want to thank God. Thank Team Garcia, the whole training camp, my dad, Angel Garcia. I want to thank the Barclays Center for having me again for the 5th time. I want to thank Al Haven, thank ESPN. I want to thank the Watsons, the family, brothers from another. But we had a tremendous camp. I never felt so strong in my life. For the first time in my career, I can actually train to get better and not to just go in the gym and I gotta lose weight. I gotta make weight. So I was able to eat the right foods, just be focused on training, working on my defense, my footwork, a lot of agility, a lot of explosive things. As you can see, we did something different for this training camp. We chased chickens. But they actually made ESPN top 10 today. So I'm happy to be on SportsCenter. I think that's great for the fighters. I really never seen a lot of fighters on SportsCenter before, so that's a good look for boxing and just to show where it's going in the sport. But I did a lot of 140 pounds, and I feel like I'm doing the same thing at 147. And this right here, August 1st on Saturday night at the Barclays Center at ESPN, you're going to see a spectacular Danny Garcia. Thank you.
As usual, we kept it quick. PBC on ESPN, 9 p.m. Saturday night Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Barclays Center, be there. Brooklyn, Atlantic Avenue, Flatbush Avenue. $250 ringside seats down to $45 seats. You can get them, again, at the box office at Ticketmaster locations, Ticketmaster.com, or by calling Ticketmaster.